views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Hey, everybody. Welcome. It's great to have you here. Angels and light beings. Francine Vale is in the house. Today, you're going to get to hear, this is so real, and this is really, really important. Psychic protection. You know, what is it about psychic protection that many of us, you don't really say, oh, I need psychic protection. But have you ever gotten up one or 2 days and said, I don't know what's going on with me? You know, I woke up, I got to tell you, this is the weirdest thing, and I'll share this with Francine. I woke up the other day, had excruciating pain in my neck and my shoulder, like when I had the car accident. But maybe it has nothing to do with the car accident. I don't know. Angels and Light Beings with Francine Vale joining me here today. She has an incredible series of YouTube videos we're going to talk about. But most importantly, she has been working with people for decades. You know, think about golden light-filled spiritual vision. Think about angels. Think about light beings. Think about, you know, this metaphysical teacher and personal spiritual growth, healer, amazing individual that is out in the world on her path to help people not just understand the energy, but be the energy. Francine, great to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Pat. It's really great to be here, too. I'm very, very happy to be here. And it's a beautiful day in New York City. Beautiful, warm day. So,
yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah,
really
nice.
Yeah, that's what I heard. You guys over there on the East Coast, you all on the East Coast are having like, oh my gosh, my friends in Atlanta, Georgia are like, you're kidding me. What's going on? Well, it's heating up over there, isn't it?
It really is. This is the first Halloween that kids that I can remember that kids didn't have to suddenly put on their winter coats.
Yeah.
With their costumes. They're running around with short sleeves, and it was fun. It was really nice. Yeah.
Well, totally. All right. Psychic protection.
Yeah.
I had to tell you, you know, I don't know if the way that I explained, you know, waking up 2 days ago and yesterday, and all of a sudden I got pain in my neck and my shoulder muscles that I had when I had the car accident in 2011. Now, I did not have a car accident. I did not do anything weird. My sense is it's energetic, but I want to hear what you have to say about that level of things and psychic protection. First of all, why do we even need it?
Oh, you always ask me the hard questions, Pat. Okay, so you want to know why you have this pain again?
Or why do we need the protection? My sense is I got the pain because it's a silly question for me. I know why I got the pain.
Why?
I got some things that are heavy on my heart. You know, a project I'm working on, some other things. But I don't think I'm exempt from, you know, what's happening in the world right now, and especially in this country. I don't think I'm exempt from that. I have a lot of tools. But psychic protection,
I kind of
tell me
feel
about
like
that.
We're all under tremendous stress right now. And as much as we try to avoid it, it's almost impossible to avoid it. If we just open our eyes, you know, wherever we go, if we go out, if we turn on our our devices, it's all there. And we're under tremendous stress. And I think most of us have in our thoughts also all those predictions, bad predictions of the end of the world. A lot of that is circulating around and it catches your attention, and all the different things that, what I'm talking about, all the stuff that we're all seeing out there. And what happens is that stress has to go somewhere. And these days, when we have conversations with our friends about these serious things, they're usually not that pleasant. We get upset in these conversations. Mm-hmm. So the stress shows up in where we have a weak spot. So even if we had an accident or something happened emotionally 10 years ago, whatever, that's the weak spot where the stress will go, because stress is a negative emotion, so it will go to a negative point of blocked energy in the body. Mm-hmm. So even though we heal from things and we think we're all better, there sometimes remains a little bit of a blockage. And that little blockage gets activated when we get stressed out. And I think so much is going on now because, this is also, why is it so chaotic? Well, my feeling is this is truly the time of revelation. Mm-hmm. So what is revelation? Everything that was held secret away from the public or away from us in our personal lives, about people in our lives, all being revealed now, so that you can just see how that creates chaos. When all kinds of conflicting truths, so-called truths, are revealed, and then back and forth, we don't know what to believe. But this is revelation. We are seeing in our society all the unhealed issues that are coming up to be healed, to be dealt with. And this is happening in our personal lives as well. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot going on in relationships, not just personal relationships, like intimate relationships, but with friends and groups and so on. The ones that survive this time are the ones that have what it takes to survive, the true love. The true love. If something doesn't survive this time, it's not meant to. It's not meant to. It means that it's had its time, and now it's time to move on to something else. It cannot make it through this chaos. So we're all dealing with this on different levels. Some of us may have been feeling it already, maybe over the past year or so, or even 2 years. So we're dealing with this, and it's not easy. It's very, very trying for the human nervous system to handle all. It's almost too much.
Yeah.
So I think that's why you had pain. You're dealing with projects, you're dealing with everything else, and it showed itself. So when you feel the pain, when you become aware of it, be aware of what is happening inside you, that you need to back down a little bit. Maybe do some really nice things to yourself. It doesn't have to be big things. Sometimes a cup of tea at bedtime, reading something relaxing about angels rather than reading the negative stuff that we get so attached to. Let's see the latest thing that so-and-so said, the latest thing that this one said. What did he say about her? What did she say? We get caught up in that. If we read that stuff before we go to sleep, it impacts on our rest time. So we have to be mindful of these things. It's time to take long soaks in the tub, or instead of a quick shower, take a long, leisurely shower. Treat your body to creams, massage creams and oils into your body. Take care of your body. It's time for that self-nourishment.
Yeah.
And I'm actually doing some of that, which is remarkable that I'm actually paying attention to my body.
What are you doing? Tell us what you're doing.
I'm doing the things that I just described. I have a cup of nice tea, non-caffeinated tea, before I go to sleep that warms me. It feels good in my stomach.
Yeah.
Feels soothing. Just the fact that I went to the trouble of making myself a cup of tea and putting honey in it, going to all that trouble, and I'm really in my nightgown. I'm ready to go to sleep, and then you have to wash your hands because the honey got on your hands. But you're going to that trouble and reading something calming. That alone, I feel good that I'm taking care of myself. That makes me feel good, is to know that I am taking care of myself. I'm being mindful of myself. I love to massage oils and creams into my feet and my hands and my legs. It feels really good, you know? And that self-love, you really feel it when you're loving yourself. And it becomes a practice, something that you have to get used to. You know, it's like exercise. You know how your body craves the endorphins? Well, get yourself into the habit of self-love, and your body will crave the endorphins of feeling that self-massage. If you have no one to massage you or who wants to massage you, massage yourself. You know?
Well, I do know, and I think that, and let me ask you this question. Is there a point by which we go too far down the rabbit hole that makes it harder to come back? I want to ask you that when we come back. When we talk about, who can we count on to help us raise our frequency? That point that everyone reaches where they know at some level, I've now crossed over. I'm at a point in the rabbit hole. I don't know if anybody's going to throw me a line to help me back up. What do I do? Do I just go for the ride? Stay tuned when we come back. We're going to talk about what does it mean making friends with our spiritual guides and guardian angels? How do we do that? And, what is it about that can help us with this psychic protection? Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Express yourself. Express yourself.
Transformation Talk Radio is dedicated to the education and awareness of Lyme disease.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Lyme Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Pat, joined here by
Dr. Nusheen Darvish.
Dr. Pat Basili and Dr. Nusheen Darvish will be bringing the most innovative, groundbreaking information, research, treatment innovations, and stories from those it affects every day.
I'm so excited to be talking about this.
We have so much to share.
Dr. Darvish and I are planning to do is connect the dots.
People suffering with all sorts of chronic diseases, it's time. It is time for them to transform.
Tune into Lyme Talk Radio and help keep our mission strong.
For the loyal listeners out there that have been listening to this incredible show on Lyme disease, we are not going to let you down. We're going to come through stronger and enrich the platform for Lyme disease awareness through Lyme Talk Radio. The message will continue, the conversations will become stronger, and the healing epic.
Are you feeling stagnant or blocked in your love life, career, health, or finances? Experiencing difficulty focusing or setting and achieving goals? Tune in to Spiritual Diagnostics Radio with psychic visionary healers Carol Dorian and Suzanne Evans. Discover the cause and effect of unwanted patterns in life. Tune in every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. For more information, visit spiritualdeed.com.
Are you searching? Looking for a sign? A message you need to hear? From the great unknown, from the most mysterious place that is the most familiar to your soul in the depths of who you are. The universe put someone here to talk to, someone God gave a blessing to, that you may find insight with. TheAngelLady.net. 1-800-323-1790. 1-800-323-1790.
There are so many resources out there for meditation. But did you know that Atana's Heart Earth Healing Meditation is available for you for free? Yes, that's right. You can receive this free healing meditation today from Atana Badili. All you need to do is visit his website, atanamethod.com. That's ATAANA method.com, and sign up. You will receive your free meditation instantly. That's atonamethod.com.
Are you ready for a game changer? Sarah Westall is bringing you Business Game Changers Radio. Sarah brings you leading experts, visionaries, and newsmakers who provide the best commentary on big issues and cutting-edge innovations. Sarah's 20 years as a business executive will help you think like an entrepreneur with expertise, energy, and attitude. Tune into Business Game Changers Mondays at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Whatever you do, do it good.
Welcome back, everyone. Francine Vale is in the house, psychic protection. We're talking about, how to live consciously, how to do this and know that you will be protected. Before we talk about, making friends with our spiritual guides, you've got a couple of exciting things happening. Just give us a sneak peek at what they are.
Oh, thanks, Pat. I do have some very exciting things. Of course, the YouTubes are almost fully out, and all you have to do is type in youtube.com Francine Vale. I don't have my own link yet with my name, and subscribe if you like what you see, because I need 100 subscribers to get my own name link. And people are liking it. I have over 5,000 views so far, and it's a lot of fun to me. It's very exciting. It's a new venue to me, and I also created an Audible book that will be coming out soon. I keep saying soon. It keeps getting worked on. There are little sounds. When you're talking into the microphones with it, it has to be perfect. And when I was doing the reading, there were times when my mouth makes ordinary human sounds.
Yeah.
Some speaking, saliva, or we click our teeth, or things like that. It all has to be cleared out in order to get published as an Audible. So that'll be out, and that's exciting. And my production team tells me that some of the times I really sound like I'm that person who's speaking. So there was a lot of spiritual help when I was doing it. A lot of angelic beings and spirits that loved ones who have passed over were all there. And it should be, I haven't heard it yet. So I'm looking forward to it. And I ask you all just keep your eye open for it. It'll be out there. And friend me on Facebook.
Yeah.
And the psychic protection, where everyone seems to be concerned about psychic protection, including myself. And it's interesting that just when I was publishing that YouTube, I was getting extraordinary amount of requests for psychic protection. People felt they were being fiddled with, in some way by negative energy. So I don't know why. It could be part of this release, so much negative stuff into the public arena that's releasing a lot of negative energy. But whatever it is, we are stronger than that. So if you can remember, when I just thought of this, it's like when you leave home and you're in your own place for the first time, you open your refrigerator and guess what? There's no mom to put it there. If you didn't go shopping and buy it and bring it home, it's not there. You could open that refrigerator door all day long, but your favorite treat that you counted on mom having there for you is just not going to be there.
Yeah.
You're the one that has to put it there, right?
Right.
And so it's a funny thing. We all have to get used to that. I know for you, it came at an early age, and it does happen to a lot of people at early ages. And some of us happens when we're 17, 18, whatever. And we are the ones that we have been waiting for. And that is really about whether it's in the material world that we have to learn to nourish ourselves, or whether in the spiritual world. We are the ones we have been waiting for. It is up to us to become self-empowered. We become self-empowered by learning about spiritual concepts and reading about people who have this knowledge and what they have to share with us. If we're lucky to find a spiritual teacher that we enjoy, then we learn from our spiritual teacher. It's never a good idea, I just want to insert, to make one person your guru. It's good to learn from several different people. I've always told that to people who fall in love with me when we're doing work together or healing circles. I tell them, this is wonderful and I love you too, but I want you to go out and test the waters with other teachers, because we have to not only set ourselves on the path of light, but we have to see clearly the difference between light and dark so that we don't go off the path of light. We don't get manipulated away from the light. And I have to tell you, I didn't know this until recently, something that I just recently learned. But manipulation in the higher realms is actually considered the dark side. Manipulation is a dark thing, and it actually keeps people from getting into the higher realms, and it brings people by resonance into hell. Now, I never saw it that way because it's not easy for me to define hell. It's a place that, I kind of just stay away from, but I've been learning about it. And so when you feel yourself being manipulated by anyone, whoever it is, it could be your friend, it could be your spouse, it could be a teacher, it could be, anything. That's what you want to stay away from. And especially when it's in the public realm, in the media, we have to be so careful to stay away from manipulation and stay on that path of light. We have to become observers so that we observe everything and hold it out there in our gray basket until it passes the test of being truth. And when we're sure that it's truth, then we let it in. As you get used to this and you get really good at discernment, you can take it in more quickly. But until we do get really clear with discernment, we have to hold things out there in our hand, extended, sort of. That's the way I see it. I'm holding it out in my extended hand. I'm not bringing it into my heart. So I'm an observer. And once you become good at discernment, you begin to know your own truth and get better and better at separating divine light and love from everything else. And that's the way I see it. If it's not helping me on my path of divine light and love, then I turn my back on it. It's going to bring me down eventually. It's not about, like it used to be, I can deal with that. I can handle that. I can help them. I can get them to see what I'm talking about. It's not about that anymore. We're turning a corner, and everyone's had their opportunities. And so if something is disturbing you about someone, stay away from them. Stay away from them. Don't take it into yourself. Because if we do, that negativity will replace the light that's in us and bring dark thoughts into us and shift our view of life into a murky world of lies and deception. And we must avoid that at all costs. We must stay away from it. And look, that's what we have all around us. So what do? We can't withdraw from life. So we become observers and just observe it. This is what's happening. What does it mean? What is the deeper spiritual meaning to all of this? And become really good friends with your spirit guides and guardian angels so that you can have a fluent dialogue with them. So when you meditate, just get quiet. You don't have to follow any particular type of meditation. Meditation is something that's very, very personal. And you just get quiet, call on your spirit guide, and they already know what's in your thoughts, and ask for guidance. Now, I feel, and I've come to truly believe, actually, that we are multidimensional beings, and we are also angelic. At the same time that we're here in our physical body, we are having an angelic life in the angelic community. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we connect with. We connect with our higher self. We connect with our higher self, and we do it every day. And eventually we can do it several times a day. Nothing wrong with talking to your higher self, your angelic self, several times a day, because that's your guidance. That's the best guidance you can get. You will feel it in your body. When my guides and angels are talking to me, it's when I'm saying something that's absolutely right and true, and which is what I try to do all the time, but then sometimes when it's really, really important, then I get the vibrations in my body. Yes, this is exactly what this person needs to hear. And I feel the vibrations in my body. And so look for that kind of sign. It's a feeling that you have in your body. It could be a feeling of peace that comes over you. Mm-hmm. And you could have silent tears. That's another sign that you're in true communication with your guides. That's where we have to go now, because all around us is lies and deception, unless we find people to connect with who we feel good with. When we feel good around certain people, and when we separate and go our own ways after we've been together, and we still feel good, and we have no questions like, what did you mean by that? Or what did he mean? You know, we're just clean. It's just clean. A good feeling. Wow, I had such a nice time, and I'm smiling. I feel good. Those are the people that you want to have in your circle. Only those people. Only those people. And if we go to work and we have to be around people that we don't trust, we treat them accordingly. We don't trust people that we can't trust. We don't tell them our deeper feelings and our secrets. It'll be used against us at some point in the future. So you're polite and always kind, but be aware of what's going on around you, because there are negative spirits around, and we build our light with our kindness, our love, by staying on the path of light, by being self-empowered, by not looking for someone else to save us. And the rest of that story is our own goodness. It is our goodness that becomes our protection. Mm-hmm. As we stay on that path of light, as we behave and think and speak in good ways, our light expands and grows and surrounds us. And these are forces beyond our human vision. And these are forces that are activated because the end of the cycle and the beginning of the new cycle is upon us. So all of this is something that is very, very powerful now, that we are the ones who create and become our own protection. People who are out there being deceitful, manipulative, and lying, they are in a dark place, and they do not have angelic selves. Mm-hmm. And they come from and will go back to a place that we don't want to be in. I talk about that in one of my YouTubes. There's no way, because we go where we resonate.
Yeah.
The light that we resonate with. So we build our own protection with our own goodness. That's really, really important. And by connecting with our spirit guides and guardian angels, which are higher parts of ourselves, but you can look at them any way you like. But I'll tell you something. When I began to understand that and allow that incredible sacred wisdom to be part of me and allow them to blend with me, I became wiser. It became easier for me to be the observer without developing a negative thread.
Yeah.
Just observing and not feeling hatred or vengeance or desire for revenge or bad things about somebody, it becomes easier. You don't even have to correct yourself.
Yeah.
You're just not doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, so these are all the ways that we create really, really strong psychic protection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is so important. No matter what age you are, no matter what walk of life you're in, no matter what you're doing, there are going to be points in time where you feel frightened, and one of the things we want to talk about is when we come back, we want to talk about self-empowerment. Francine Vale is in the house, everybody. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with the show.
Now I've been happy lately, thinking about the good things to come.
Chris Stanis is a spiritual leader and healer and teaches a course on how you can transform your life through a meditation and healing system that will manifest your spirit's dreams. She manifested the Women of Wisdom Conference, the Women of Wisdom book, and this radio show. And she can show you how to change your life too. Are you ready? Visit the website and contact her at voicesofwomentoday.com. That's voicesofwomentoday.com.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
Tune in to The Michael Shane Show, the third Tuesday of each month at 11 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com and connect with the ascended beings to raise your vibration and manifest the life you desire. Get ready to receive healing through the transphysical mediumship of Reverend Michael Shane and the ascended beings. Visit MichaelShane.com. That's MyChael, Shane.com, and call 425-971-6632 to schedule your full healing session now.
Have you wanted to be intuitive or psychic but thought those gifts were only for certain people? Hi, my name is Deb Acker, and in addition to being the host of Truth Talk Radio, I'm an intuitive life coach and energy healer. I clear energy blocks to all areas of life, including intuition. Did you know that we're all intuitive, but many times we receive certain messages in our childhood that block us from being able to tune into our intuition at all times? What if you could clear these blocks to access your gifts and always know the truth in any given moment? Don't think it's possible? I was there not long ago. I thought only others had these gifts and you were either born with it or you weren't. I now know we're all intuitive and you can clear the blocks that stop you from being able to access your intuition on all levels. On the other side, I now help others to become intuitive, even psychic. And if this resonates for you and you're ready to own your intuitive powers, I'd love to gift you with my pattern identification session. Simply contact me on the contact page of my website, DeborahAcker.com. That's DeborahAcker.com. And let me know you heard about this gift through Transformation Talk Radio. I look forward to connecting soon.
And I believe it could be someday it's going to come. 'Cause out on the edge of darkness, there rides the peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country. Come take me home again. Yeah, I've been smiling lately.
Is that Cat Stevens, Benny? Who is that?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Oh, boy. Gotta love me some of that cat. Gotta love me another cat in another way. Francine Vale joining me here today. It's great to have you here, Francine. And, I got to tell you, I didn't grow up as a cat person. But I think, here in these recent times, there's a lot of cat energy that I protect, and love and nurture. And it's really fascinating because it's not your normal, okay, this is my kitty and I've got it over here. I'm like really drawn to like the serious African panther leopard cats all of a sudden. It's just weird for me, but it's really true. As a matter of fact, the other day I woke up and in my dream, I saw this black panther with these just striking green eyes, right? They're majestic, right? And I just, and I was sitting there and it was kind of sitting next to me. And I thought, boom, I woke up and I tried to get back to sleep to finish the dream, but it didn't happen. And that leads me to talking with you now about this idea of feeling frightened. And we were kind of talking about a little bit during the break, which I'm not going to go into that story, on air, but I think I'm not unusual. I think I'm like other people. We get through points and times where we do get frightened, where we then reach out to our angels and our guides, and we may be frightened in that interaction. But what happens when we start feeling that? What is that about, Francine? And is there anything for us to do differently?
Well, I tend to feel that fear, first of all, it's not about tending to feel. Fear is the opposite of love. When we get frightened, we need to pay attention to what is causing that fear, not to be frightened, not to take it into us, but again, be an observer. What is this fear about? Suppose, we get wrapped up. Our ego gets excited about certain opportunities or things come along that it's like, wow, it's like I'm winning the lottery. But then we get frightened. Look at it. Look at it very carefully from an objective point of view and examine it. And in the process of examining it objectively, what that fear is about, we stop being frightened. We stop being frightened because look at it with eyes of love and intellect and everything that you've learned so far in your life to understand what that fear is about. And a lot of times fear comes over as some mundane things, and sometimes it comes over as some big things. So it might be somebody, I have a lot of people who, maybe say man wants to date me or something. If I get a fear in me, it doesn't mean that he's a frightening person. It just means there's something there that's not compatible with my energy. I've learned that by observation, and that's why I get frightened. Like, wait a minute, you're going too fast for me. There's something here that's not right, And so it forces me to become objective and not fall into the feminine, romantic thing. That's what the fear does for me. It alerts me. It doesn't make me feel frightened. To stay frightened, the fear is just an alert. It's like a red light going on.
It's an alert, yeah.
And then when I observe it and examine it with my intellect and what I've already learned, I see, well, something's off. And sure enough, within another day or so, I will discover the truth. The truth will come to me because that's what I'm open for. I'm not buying into something that might turn its head on me and give me a huge drama, in the future. So that's the purpose of fear, not to be frightened, but to be a red light. And it's good to seek advice if we can't figure it out ourselves. But going back to what I was saying before, I believe that we call on our higher selves and our spirit guides, guardian angels, ask before we go to sleep, what is this about? And when you wake up, don't jump out of bed. Lay there quietly and recapture. Stay with the energy of your sleep time, of what you learned while you were sleeping. Practice this. Make it a habit because that's part of self-empowerment. That is a really significant part of self-empowerment. And what was your question again?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Am I still on track?
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you there. I think you answered the question because one of the things I hear you talking about is that, this is a call to action about stepping into a form of empowerment, self-empowerment, Francine, that I don't think we're used to. It's interesting the way I kind of energetically feel about the time we live in right now. I had a friend say something interesting to me the other day, and what she said was, she said, "You know what? I feel 10 years younger." And I said, "What happened? What'd you do?" She said, "What I realized is I was watching television," and she said it wasn't the television I was watching. She said it didn't dawn on me until a friend of mine came over and started to mute all the commercials. And she said, "I went on this experiment, and I'm not going to stop watching the television shows that I really love and watch." She said, "But what I realize is how even subliminally that some of the commercials," and she said, because of the shows I was watching were kind of midday or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but I did actually watch television to find out. She said all of the commercials that come on during that time of day are all about getting too old, being in a car accident, having to hire an attorney, right? A new drug that's come out that's for something that's wrong with you that you don't even think is wrong with you, but now you might think is wrong with you. Right. And she said she realized that in the course of time she's watching this, I forget the number she told me. She said that she was being hit with close to 150 subliminal messages about how she's aging, how old she's going to get. And by the way, one of the commercials had to do with the funeral ceremony.
Wow.
And I thought,
this is going on. This is going on big time.
Is it? Yeah.
It's even more insidious, but that is pretty big. That's really important to share. Thank you. To get it out there, people to know. And when you're watching TV, I don't have a TV, but I know I've seen lots of people watching, and you get hypnotic. Like when I did have a TV, I would jump up for every commercial. That was my chance to do something around the house that I didn't get to do, and I had to sit down and watch the program. So I got up and did the rest of it during commercials. But I would watch, say, my husband, may he rest in peace, like a zombie, staring at the screen. And I'd say, "Why are you staring at the screen when it's nothing but commercials?" And it's like that with sports. It's like that with children's programming. There is so many subliminal messages, sexual connotations, by the way. If you pay attention to cartoons and look at the scenery, the things that are buried in the scenery, you will see all kinds of things. And and if you go to movies that have a lot of darkness, horror movies or UFO movies with UFOs and attacks, war movies, they all have huge subliminal messages in them, huge. And it's buried in the shadows on the screen. And that's why you can walk out feeling sick, frightened, go, "Oh, that was a downer,"
Yeah.
And then go out and eat food that isn't even good for you. We're bombarded with that stuff. So that's why we really do have to understand about building our own light and becoming self-empowered. Be that light. Become that being of light here on earth in a physical body. That's your protection, because the dark side cannot reach you. And your friend, as soon as she understood it, she was able, God bless her, she has a lot of power in her, like we all do. She was able to cast it off her shoulders like a heavy cape. And she cast it off her shoulders, and I know that I feel younger because I have cast all that off my shoulders. I can see it so clearly, but, what are you going to do, shout from the street corners to people? I talk to people as much as I can, and through my work, try to bring this out. This is so important to understand what's all around us. Yeah. So be an observer. Don't be part of it. I am on this earth, not of this earth. That's what we need to tell each other and ourselves. and very important.
It's important. And one of the things that we have talked about here on the show is we've talked about what I call the political addiction factor. I call it PAF. And I was talking about it, and somebody was interviewing me, and they asked me, what does that even mean? I said, well, I'll tell you what it means. I said, it's really kind of interesting because I really think there's a strategy. I said, one day you're looking at, the idea of a candidate or even local elections. Like we have a lot of amendments and things. We have a lot of these, ballots on our local elections. Do we approve local transportation? Do we do this like that? Those things that we'll approve. Right. And when he asked me about it, I said, yeah, like what happens is that if there is a lull in the action, whatever the action is, it doesn't matter what party we're talking about here. If there is a lull in the action, the strategy has to be to provide you with enough that will fire up the adrenaline in you, even if that adrenaline is fear. And then he asked me a bunch of other questions, and I said, yeah. I said, there are so many things in this particular year, in this particular election, that tap in to multiple subconscious layers of people, not on one side or the other, on both sides, deep hidden biases and prejudices, and trusting and not trusting. And if you don't watch TV and you don't have the message flipping on your cell phone, then you're not hit by it. Does it mean you're uninformed? No. There are other ways to be informed. But if you are plugged in, you're waiting to make sure that whoever is on your team has got the right positive perspective and is winning. And it is an addiction, Francine. It really is. It's what's driving people crazy right now.
Yes, people are addicted to this, and they look for the emotional hit. They try to grab us in and suck us into our emotions, and that's what they do. And people, human beings are designed to be loving beings. That's what we are designed to be.
Yeah.
And compassionate. So when we hear all this negative stuff, it really, really upsets us. We really, really, and we don't know what to do with it. We don't know what to do about it. So unplug. That's what I do. You know what I do? I get all these newspapers online. I get them on my phone, and that's how I know what's going on when I'm ready. And what I've done recently, the past month or so, it was such a crescendo, I decided this. Each paper that I'm reading online, I will choose one article to read a day, not read the whole thing. I'll choose one, maybe two. Maybe as soon as I start to feel that anxiety creeping into me, then I won't look at it. So if I'm reading 5 newspapers every day and I'm just reading 1 or 2 at the most articles of each one, I'm limiting myself, and I can turn it off. I don't have to read the whole article. If I see that it's turning into, lies and deception, sometimes it stops at the headline. But I'm taking charge of what I'm allowing into my psyche. You understand? So this is something we should do. We can do it. And of course, I've watched the debates. I gave in and watched the debates while I was on the treadmill, my phone. I watched it, and
but that's part of being educated. I mean, that's part of educating yourself. That's part of like saying, wait a minute, I want to know what that person stands for. I want to know what this person stands for, right?
Right. And they are revealing themselves and being revealed, and back and forth. It's a nightmare. I think this election is an absolute nightmare, and I mean that. It is wrought with evil and meanness and corruption and everything that upsets us and creates anxiety in us. And combine that with everything your friend discovered with the commercials, it's a nightmare. It just is. The racism that's being introduced into our society, it's in one way people say, well, it's good to know what's out there, but in other ways sometimes it stirs things up unnecessarily. There are ways to examine racism in an intellectual setting, and the way it's stirred up is more emotional in our current public dialogue. And so this is part of being protected, of protecting yourself. You know, it's not only spiritual, it's the steps you take in your life to protect yourself. And eating well is part of it. Exercising every day, even if it's just walking, keeping yourself fit. You know, keep yourself up so that you can deal with all these things. You know, and remember, you know, on some level, we all knew before we were born that we were going to be here at this time. So I feel that we are going to overcome all of this, and we will succeed in coming through it into the light. But we have to stay vigilant, and vigilant toward ourselves so that we are observers and staying on the path of light and becoming self-empowered, and vigilant when it comes to who we let into our close inner circle. That's very, very important.
But I want to take it one step further. And this is something that you talk about all the time. And I think we need to just mention it right now. Each and every one of us has the ability to do good work in the world. We really do. You know, our new campaign and our new network is about conversations to create a better world. And, you know, we get involved with projects that have to do with whether it's sending water machines to Haiti or, you know, talking with people about, you know, a new remedy for Lyme disease, or, you know, it doesn't matter. And I'm a girl from the Bronx. You know, this is who I really am. I never thought in a million years that I'd be talking to, you know, Francine Vale from Manhattan and, you know, Patty from the block over here.
Well, Francine Vale is also from the Bronx.
Yeah, from the Bronx. Two Bronx girls sitting here. What are we talking about? You know, I mean, White Castle was my favorite dinner, right? White Castle hamburgers. I love White Castle hamburgers. But, you know, here we are because you said yes to something in your life. I said yes to something. And today we have a responsibility to people. I feel like I have a responsibility to everyone that listens to this show, that I make sure I don't exclude anyone's opinion, you know, to be voiced. Because you and I know what it's like to grow up in a world where we're silenced.
Yes.
Where we're silenced.
Yes.
But the other side of me is the side that says, my gosh, I don't want to go backwards. I don't want a world where, you know, I'm from a blended family, let's call it. You know, we're not your normal white people. That's not us. Right. And none of my relatives are like that either. And so, you know, we know what it's like to walk into a restaurant and you're walking in and the partner you're walking in with is a man from Ghana, Africa, and you to wait 3 hours to get a seat. Yeah. We know that.
Yeah.
I just think, you know, we're having things come to the forefront to be revealed so we can heal. That's what I think.
Yes.
And isn't that what you're doing in your videos, right? Isn't this your work?
Exactly. And once you choose this, and you know that this is your destiny, you stay with it. It's like forever. I'm going to be 75 on my birthday, and there's no let up in sight. Even I would like it to let up, but there are new projects being offered to me that are taking me even further and realizing a whole part of my destiny I didn't know was there. So yes, we just cannot give up. We have to constantly be helping the ones who are where we once were.
Yeah.
And that's part of what it is to be on this planet. You know, it's like I've had this vision that I've talked about from time to time where I'm holding someone's hand who is behind me, and I'm holding someone's hand who is ahead of me. It's sort of like a very low slope moving upward in a spiral, and we don't let go. We hold on to one another and help one another to keep moving upward. And once you make that commitment, coming from the Bronx kind of helps me, because I know what it's like not to have enough money to buy a pencil or a new box of crayons when they get worn down, or, a new notebook because the old one got messy. I didn't have that. I wasn't able to do that. So I appreciate what I have now, and I understand people who don't have that. And so it helps me in my work, and I'm sure it helps you too. And this is what we're here for. Every single person listening to the show, every single person out there has someone to help. And from one person, there are more people, and you build it and build it. I have someone who read my book, asked me to be his mentor, and went on to grow in consciousness to such a degree. He has now raised a lot of money and creating clean water in India.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.